Hey, it's the latest episode of The Ugly Truth. Paula is out again this week, but we have a special guest sitting in with me today. It is my son, Tyler. We get to know him a little bit. And who does he cast as his mother in the film about his life? We'll find out. All of this plus some Ugly and Awkward moments of the week. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 487. Ugh! No Ugg from you. Okay, so Paula is sick. Olivia was sick. Now Paula is sick. She thinks she's got the COVID. We don't think she does, but you never know. So she went and got a test. Hopefully she'll be back for the Sunday show to tell us all about her experience getting tested. But in the meantime, I have a special guest, the esteemed one of the trio from the a very successful podcast, Middle Class Film Class.
That's right. It's a little bit of a tongue twister right there.
Tyler of Tyler's Rage is here with us today to sit in, a.k.a. my son, my firstborn.
Well, we don't have to pull the curtain back.
My child, my favorite. My favorite. According to the rest of the family, he's my favorite.
Well,
he's just a boy.
That is true.
Well, we do a survey every holiday season to see if the favorite has changed. According to the other children in the family, you reign supreme. So,
okay.
As you will recall, when we have our Thanksgiving, they're like, who's the favorite this year?
Our famous Thanksgiving dinner.
Our infamous Thanksgiving dinners, which we're thinking about recording.
I suggested, nay, demand that we record our conversations.
All right. So I have spoken about Tyler off and on during the show, but nothing too specific. So we're going to get to know Tyler today a little bit more. He claims that his podcasting skills have improved.
Oh, that's very true.
So that's good news. But, okay, so really quick, do you do Reddit, Tyler?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I'm an avid Reddit user.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm somewhat new to Reddit.
Oh.
And I have 2.6 thousand karmas.
2.6.
2.6K.
That's good.
2,600K.
Wait, well, it depends though. Is it comment or is it posting? Because there's a difference.
I only comment.
Okay, so you have the comment karma, which is not...
It's not as good.
It doesn't have a lot of clout as the posting. Like, if you have posting karma 2.6, you're able to post on almost all of the subreddits.
Oh.
But if you have comment clout... Okay. They don't give a shit. They just...
You're just like a little clinger.
Yeah,
you're like a dingleberry of Reddit.
They just cast you aside.
So you have no respect.
Well...
You're the serf of Reddit.
Yeah.
Do you post on Reddit?
I do, and the only reason why I have the karma that
What's your karma?
It's in the 4,000 range.
Okay, all right,
I have
respectable.
I have a lot of hot takes, And
yes, you do.
And so and plus it also helps that I also rode to San Francisco on my fixed gear bicycle. Which was an amazing experience. But anyways,
well, we will discuss that because I want people to know about you a little bit more because you are and have been since the day you were born an old soul,
an enigma.
The day you were born and the day I brought you home, all 7 pounds 8 ounces of you.
7 pounds.
You were a tiny little thing. You flutter kicked out of my body.
Couldn't wait to get out of there.
Couldn't wait to get out of there. That hell.
Needed to experience the real world.
You had the face of an old soul, and everybody who saw you used to call you a little old man because you looked like a little old man, and it was because your eyes were wise. They just looked like they'd seen some shit. I don't know what happened in utero. Like, I don't know if you absorbed your twin or what happened in there, but you came out going, I've seen some things, man.
It was the films that you watched.
Hey, I listened to classical music the entire pregnancy with you.
That's exactly what happened.
Vivaldi, Mozart, they were all there. Beethoven. You were well treated to the art of the world. Anyway, and you did see Beauty and the Beast in utero.
Wait, the cartoon version, right?
Yes, in theater.
In theaters?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So anyway, the thing with Reddit is for the first time today I was called a fucking retard. And I'm like, what? I'm like, first of all, I am not a retard. But
For what, though? What was the context?
All right, so here's the context.
I need the context.
I will tell you. There is a person that I don't know very well. I guess he's famous. Jordan Peterson? Do you know who that is?
Oh, no, that conservative fuck.
Okay, so that's who he is? All right, fine. Well, apparently he has a daughter who is starting a podcast. And he promotes her show a lot on his show. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with that? I mean, it's his daughter. It's kind of like, so this is what I said. I go, basically, to me, if you're super famous, or I said pseudo-famous, and I got a lot of shit for that too, because apparently he's not pseudo-famous. He is famous. But I said, it's just like when you put a new show on before The Big Bang Theory or after The Big Bang Theory. If it's great, you don't need to rely on The Big Bang Theory forever. It'll stand on its own. If it sucks, it goes away.
That's true.
So,
That's with every network television show.
Right. So some guy goes, yeah, but TV's not like real life, you fucking retard. I was like, what? I'm like,
of course
it isn't.
Of course it isn't.
Anyway. So then I said,
Jordan Peterson.
So then I did a dumb thing.
I can't believe it.
I did a really dumb thing, and I said, well, I stand by my comment. And then people started making fun of me.
No, don't.
Like, I stand by my comment. I was like, all right, this is way too, this is like gaslighting always. And I'm like, fuck you all. I'm not built for this Joe Rogan subreddit at all. So forget it.
Yeah, no, so...
Forget it. I'm sticking with the dank memes.
I can't. I can't even keep my composure. Yeah, no, you don't say that you stand by your comment.
Oh, is that inappropriate behavior?
Just don't reply.
Oh.
Standing by your comment means you just don't reply. You're just like, it's there.
I see. Just
for the world.
Done.
You're standing nude for the world.
Okay. Well, I love Reddit. I think it's super fun, but I don't add content to Reddit, so I guess I have to now.
Well,
if it means anything for me to have karma that is respectable, I'm going to have to add.
And I would say this though, it's only if you feel like you have content to add.
I don't.
Well, exactly. You know, and I don't either. You know, it's so.
But you do.
Well, sometimes.
Okay. All right. So, in the spirit of getting people who are listening, getting to know you, I know you just like as well as I know myself for the most part, although you would probably disagree.
That's not true.
I know you pretty well. So I'm going to ask you a few questions that I may not know the answer to because it's been a while since we've had an in-depth discussion. No pressure. I don't expect super sophisticated, deep. You're not Jordan Peterson.
Well,
I don't expect...
pre-19 though, like I think the last time that I was on the show was pre-19, and if I'm remembering correctly, we were reviewing the It movie.
Yes, we saw It
2
together. Oh God, that was. You know what, Tyler? I miss
so good.
I miss us seeing horror films together.
I do.
We need to do that.
I do too.
I can't wait. Okay, so this one's pretty heavy, so I don't expect you to be able to answer it right off the bat. So we'll talk it through.
Okay.
But the first question is, what's one thing you were taught that completely changed your life? Besides reading.
So one thing that I was taught that completely, except reading, I love it.
I mean, was there anything that you went, holy shit, this is going to change everything for me?
It was
therapy.
Well, yeah, maybe therapy, but that was more on my own too. I guess it would be more so.
Like, is there anything that I taught you that changed your life?
Oh yes,
like
what? When cooking scrambled eggs.
Really?
Yeah. So I guess if we're gonna go in that route, cooking scrambled eggs. One time you caught me just cooking scrambled eggs.
Yes.
Just regular scrambled eggs, and you're just like, oh, you're not adding salt and pepper or anything to it. And so I was, and as a lot of people, well, I don't know if a lot of people know, but since I'm vegan now,
Yeah.
I've been using this great product called Just Egg, which is
Not egg.
It's not. It's a plant-based egg scramble liquid.
Yes.
And I put the salt.
Oh, so you know how to season it properly.
Yeah, I put the salt, I put the pepper, I put the garlic salt in it, and also I put the rice in it too.
Oh, right. You thicken it up, make it all hearty.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
that's
know.
true. So I taught you how to season scrambled eggs.
So if I could answer that question is that you taught me how to cook to be full.
Aw,
Which
that's
is-
awesome and very true.
Yeah, especially for someone my age who I'm not a millionaire like you and producer Daryl. You guys
Yes,
are.
we're so highfalutin,
Yeah,
Tyler.
you guys millionaires,
Right
there. And
Yes.
but
Don't
yeah,
you see the gems just sitting in the corner,
of
wasting
course.
away?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and so what I was gonna say is that seasoning meals has been
that is a life changer.
Has been a life-changing experience. I wish I could say something more deeper.
No,
That's
good. That's a good one.
Okay, well,
Learning how to season and eat food to make it taste good and to make you full. Like, what I realize actually on that same line is that there is a lot of people your age and even my age who were never taught how to cook.
Sure,
Like
yeah.
those old school like grandmas and moms who used to cook and teach
The
their
depression
children.
meals.
They don't teach anybody how to cook anymore. That's why HelloFresh and Blue Apron are so popular.
Oh, I
because
didn't even
nobody
think
knows
of
how
that.
to cook anymore. And so
and they have to have instructions. But what
do you know how many times you and your sisters asked me to put a cookbook together of all the food that I've made so that you can make it yourself?
Oh, plenty of
Constantly.
times. Plenty of times.
Yes.
What I was going to say, though, now that we're on that subject,
Yeah.
is producer Daryl. He taught me how to change an alternator in a Toyota.
That's awesome. And you'll always know how to do it
And
now.
I'll always know how to do
Forever.
it. And so
That's
when I
excellent.
have a Tyler Jr., whether it's a boy or a girl,
You're not going to name him Fauntleroy or something like really old school hipster?
no, it's gonna. It's
gonna have a junior?
Well, the girl is gonna. I plan on naming the girl Clara Ann.
Okay.
I love the two names, but anyways, not to get off topic
Yes.
on children names.
Of
which,
course.
Changing an alternator in a Toyota is a technical experience that I learned from producer Daryl, and I will never forget it.
That's awesome.
I will never forget it. So yeah, that's to
Interesting.
answer your question. Is I
Yes.
know how to make scrambled eggs with my
Tastes
with my limited cooking abilities, and also my mechanical experience.
That's awesome. Okay, here's another question. If you were having a dinner party and you could invite 3 people, alive or dead, who would you invite?
Peter Abeta, who is a host on Middle Class Film Class.
Okay.
Joseph Navarro, who is also a host on Middle Class Film Class. And Jim Morrison.
Ooh, that's a good one. I thought for sure you'd say Kurt Cobain.
No.
You don't need to know anything about him?
No, he's an asshole.
Oh, well, that's true.
He's an asshole.
You identified with Cobain for a very long time, though.
Only aesthetically and only imagery based. It
You
wasn't.
still look like him.
Well, I'd argue that, but
You're wearing a striped short sleeve Ernie shirt and you have long blonde hair.
Look, I don't need the attacks right now. All I need to tell you is that.
And as your mother, I have to tell you, get a haircut. But anyway.
Well, it's 19. Where am I going to get a haircut?
I know.
But anyways, so Joseph, Peter, and Jim Morrison, because I think you'd bring
guys
a
would be-
spice into the stew.
You know what? I have to say, I would love to meet Jim Morrison.
Me too.
That would be a pretty cool thing.
I wonder how he is.
I know this is weird, but whatever, my gut reaction when someone asks me if you could invite 3 people, alive or dead, to dinner, I always say Elvis. Always. I always say Elvis and John Lennon, and it's always musical. I don't give
Oh.
a shit about...
Fuck John Lennon. No, he's an asshole.
So what?
Elvis.
He's crazy. I want to know why he's so weird. Yoko can't come though.
Well,
it
of
only
course.
has to be John.
Yoko can't come. And actually, Yoko can't come. And if you're going to bring someone back from the dead.
Yes, I am.
John Lennon? No. No, it should be Elvis, because Elvis was a man of the people. He grew up poor.
Yeah.
He grew up in the South poor.
Yeah.
Like he's a man of the people. So
I would love to know what he has to say about things. He had some weird things, but I think
later in life.
Well, he had a
Later.
thing for really young girls.
Well,
Or one young girl, I should say. But anyway. Oh, and I would probably want to talk to Prince if I could. That'd be an unusual thing. It's not your thing. I know.
No, well, I like Prince, but he's an asshole too.
Well, okay, what musician isn't a genius? Do you know of any? I don't. They're all weird and mean.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, because I watched a 3-hour documentary by Martin Scorsese. No. A 3-hour documentary on Bob Dylan by Martin Scorsese. And he is the weirdest guy that I have ever met.
Yeah.
Through the interviews,
Sure.
He seems so weird.
I kind of want to meet Linda Ronstadt. She's not dead, but I really idolize her quite a bit, and I also love Cher.
Well,
those are my answers.
She's not dead, but technically.
Well, she can't sing the way she wants to sing.
But Cher, though, I
freaking love Cher.
You know, it's funny, on our most recent episode of American Psycho on Middle Class Film Class, I'm getting the two mixed, because I was also on another show where I called a disaster called a Chernobyl, and everyone was saying, no, it's Chernobyl, and I was
Chernobyl,
I was like, no, it's Chernobyl. This disaster happened at Cher's mansion.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, those are good questions. Let's see what else.
Another one? Another question?
I have several.
Several.
Yes. Do you remember your first film debut? Hobos in Nature.
No, you're getting it wrong. Actually,
What was it?
It's called Freaks of Nature.
No. You did a hobo movie with Kyle. You and Kyle and Chad did a hobo film.
Yeah, no, it was called Freaks of Nature, and we just destroyed our my action figures, not even theirs. My action figures, we destroyed them
what's
with...
the hobo thing I'm thinking of?
Well, there was hobos thrown around in the mix of it all.
But the film ultimately ended up being Freaks of Nature.
Yeah, I think it's a 6-part film on a cassette that I hope that is lost, because I don't want it to be found.
We found.
I know you did. I saw the cassette on I saw the cassette on the couch when you were reminiscing on our childhood achievements.
Yes.
And I almost...
I'm allowed to do that, by the way.
I almost took that cassette tape and destroyed it. That
absolutely not.
So much shame.
No, it's your first film. I'm going to transcribe it into digital so I can watch it.
Oh God. No.
And you can critique maybe on a next upcoming episode of Middle Class Film Class. You guys can review it.
I will be thoroughly embarrassed.
Probably thoroughly intoxicated when you do it.
Well, that too. Besides the point, I don't want to see that again.
All right, fine. All right, well, if you became famous or pseudo-famous and they decided to do a film on your movie, or a movie on your life, who would play you?
You know what's funny? On my drive home from work today, I was thinking about making a documentary about myself.
Oh.
So...
You can't play yourself.
No.
If Hollywood funds a film about your life, who's going to be cast as Tyler in the movie?
Well, the obvious answer is Ryan Gosling. I gotta have Gosling in that in that picture. He is what I... Well, so there's...
I don't know. I always think of not Jared Leto, but Joaquin Phoenix. Although you don't
Jared
have
Leto.
You don't got the weird lip.
Joaquin Phoenix is a good contender too.
I think Joaquin Phoenix could play you perfect. Although he's a little dark, and you're not actually as dark as you think you are. You're pretty funny.
No. Yeah.
So,
but
Jared Leto could do it. Although he's a little weird.
No. Jared Leto couldn't do it. But Ryan Gosling and Joaquin Phoenix have perfected the quirkiness of what I could be. But at the same time, though, I'm leaning more... Well, now that you mentioned Joaquin Phoenix,
yes,
I think that Joaquin Phoenix would be better because he's more method, and I feel like he would come to me and he would ask me who I am as a person.
You become friends and deep partners.
Or Shia LaBeouf.
I was gonna say Shia LaBeouf. Oh my God, he's insane. He's perfect. Although, his dad's worse. His dad lives in his garage. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Because they're so mentally ill.
And so...
It's better than being homeless, though.
If any of the listeners are listening right now, please check out Honey Boy.
I've heard of that.
It's the Amazon Prime original. It does a beautiful take on Shia LaBeouf's early career.
Is it documentary?
No, it's not documentary.
Okay.
It's more fictionalized, but it's an incredible film on Shia's career, and Shia LaBeouf plays his own dad.
I do remember this. It's good?
It's so good. And the fact that it was not nominated for an Academy Award it's a goddamn travesty. I can't believe
Really?
I can't believe that Shia wasn't recognized. There's a
I think he's one of those outsiders that nobody wants to give any credit to.
Well,
Hollywood's very picky about who they will glorify.
True. So that brings me to my next point, is that there's a discrimination towards streaming original movies.
I agree. Except for The Irishman, which was okay.
It's only because of Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
And that film was boring as shit. And also the digitally de-aging of the actors, I can't believe it. It makes me crazy.
I would agree with you on that.
It's so...
I sat through it. You know what? I sat through that
3 hours.
I did. I sat through the whole thing, and I sat there going, okay, I have to watch this because it's Martin Scorsese, and I have to try to appreciate it for what it is. But really, he's an old man who makes the same movie over and over again with the same people. I was disappointed. I mean, I guess it's fine.
You're better off watching The Sopranos.
Oh,
if you want,
for sure.
if you want a good mafia story, you're better off watching The Sopranos and The Godfather, and maybe The Godfather 2.
Godfather 2 is a classic too, which is unusual because most times sequels are not, but this one was.
It's one of the top 5 of the perfect sequels.
Did you hear that Zac Efron is remaking 3 Men and a Baby? Because, why not?
It's funny, just to pull the curtain behind a little bit more, on our newest episode of Middle Class Film Class, when we're reviewing American Psycho,
yes,
there's a list of... so I was betted $20 to not say, ugh, during a segment of Tyler's Rage, of which I don't ick movies.
Yes. Could you do it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, we're not going to explain Tyler's Rage. They're gonna have to log in and listen to your episodes to find out what that means.
I encourage you. It's so funny. It makes me laugh.
Who would play me in your movie? If you say Melissa McCarthy, I'll punch you in the mouth right now.
Of course not. How dare you even say that? No.
I love her, though, but no.
No. It would be either Susan Sarandon or...
She's so old.
Or...
she's Grandma's age. She can play Grandma.
Oh, that's true. Who plays Ripley in Alien?
Oh,
I can't remember her
Sigourney
name.
Weaver?
Sigourney Weaver. Yeah, you could be the Sigourney Weaver in my film.
All right. They all have short hair.
Well,
I can't be J-Lo.
Oh, J-Lo. No. That's a good one.
I don't look like her at all. Come on.
It doesn't
that would be
matter.
Ridiculous. J-Lo and Ryan Gosling star in Tyler's Life. That would be hilarious. They'd be like, ooh, now that's something I'll watch. That's interesting.
Next question.
Okay, final question. What job do you think you would be terrible at? I can't think of anything. I think you can do anything. Yeah, well, that's why I'm asking.
Well, so I'm very passionate in making my scoots. So I think what I would have a problem with is if I was selling life insurance. Life insurance would probably be the worst job that I had because, you're interviewing people who are on their goddamn deathbed.
Trying to buy life insurance for their family.
Yeah, in a terrible fashion too. So selling life insurance would probably be the worst job that I would have, because I would make no commission, because eventually you'd
just be giving it away.
Yeah, the customers would be like, "Oh, I can't afford this." I'd be like, "Okay, that's fine.
There you go.
Yeah,
no problem."
Even not though. I would just be like, "Okay, I'm gonna leave your residence right now."
All right, and finally, if you could have one do-over in your life, would you take it, and what would it be?
I would not take a do-over, because I would not be where I'm at in my life right now if I did take a do-over. But hypothetically speaking, if I was going to take a do-over, I would probably have drank more water when I was riding myself to the Golden Gate Bridge on my bicycle.
Let's discuss that really quick.
Oh,
so how
okay.
old were you?
I was on the cusp of 21.
So you and your friend at the time decided to, for whatever reason, go on some kind of spiritual journey.
Yeah, that's not true. So
okay, tell me.
So I have an older friend. His name is Jeremiah. He and his friend Thomas rode the same route that I rode when I rode to San Francisco to the Golden Gate Bridge.
So this is from Sacramento to San Francisco. You rode a fixed speed bike.
Yeah,
correct?
a fixed gear bicycle, which if you don't know what a fixed gear bicycle is, it's a bike that has no freewheel. So you know how when you ride a bike, you can not pedal and it just coasts?
Yes.
That's not what happens on this bike.
It just stops.
You have to pedal. Even when you stop pedaling, it's still pedaling because it's a fixed gear.
Got it.
So, I packed up some bags of clothes, and I rode to Davis, through the rural part of Davis, to wine country, through not Panama, Petaluma.
Petaluma.
Yeah. So Panama.
Yeah. So you rode through the wine country, through Petaluma.
Yeah, and I rode all the way to the Golden Gate Bridge, and I have a famous photo.
Yes.
That has me holding up my bike,
which I will post on our website for you, so everyone can see.
Yeah, and I wish I was better at that photo, but anyways, it doesn't matter.
I remember. Well, first of all, what made you decide to do this?
Oh, because I looked up to Jeremiah like a father figure almost. He was just this older guy that he was about 7 years older than me.
Like a big brother, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. He told me while we were drinking one night, and he was like, I rode to San Francisco once. It was a famous thing in our peer group, and I was like, I can do that. And so I trained for 4 months during the winter and springtime.
I remember.
And I was riding up these excruciating hills, building up my my cardio and all that. Stamina. And then I wanted to do this by my birthday because I wanted to ride into a bar. Ride into a bar with my bike and just be like, give me a beer. And so I did exactly that.
Yeah.
And it was probably one of the most successful things that I put my mind to, other than my career, obviously. So yeah, I did it.
What was it like for sleeping? And you guys brought a tent? Did you not bring a pup tent? I don't remember.
Yeah. We me and my former friend Kyle, we because he decided to be along this journey with me, which he was not prepared for. I was miles ahead of him, and I would have to stop on some of the hills to wait for him, and I would be waiting 15, 20 minutes, and I would be anxious. I'd be like, come on.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even on a fixed gear too. He was on a road bike. He had the gears. And
he just hadn't trained like you.
No, he didn't, because I was riding every day.
Yeah.
And so the first night we slept in a park. we just, we set up a tent in a park, and the sprinklers started coming on us, and we
Great.
were like, oh my God. And so we slept on the trail, like the cement trailway that you would find at your regular park.
Oh my gosh.
And
I can't believe cops didn't make you move along.
No. So here's the thing, though, is because they knew what we were doing. But the cops never came. But some person who was walking their dog, at 6 a.m, they found us on the sidewalk, and they asked us, "Are you okay?" And we're just like, "Oh yeah, we're just bike traveling." And the kindest response that I could ever receive, they were just like, "Keep on keeping on."
Oh, well,
And-
Davis is very hippy dippy. They're all about that.
Yeah, so we packed up our things, and then we went on our way, and it took us a couple of days to get there. And then eventually, when we got there, we took the famous picture on the Golden Gate Bridge, which
Yes.
Jeremiah and Thomas took that picture too. And so I did it, and I sent it to him, and all he said was, "That's really great, man." That's all I needed to hear. And then after that, we rode in the city, and we rode in the city for a little bit because riding a bicycle in the city is so fun.
Really?
Yeah, it's aggressive. I'm a purveyor of driving too, so driving in places like that, it was basically up my alley.
Yeah.
I have race car blood in my veins.
You do have racing blood in your veins. It is true.
And that was gangbusters, and then we rode into a bar, we got a couple of drinks, and then we went to a hotel, which was, by the way, I can't even believe the rates that the hotel, that Motel 6 have in
They say
San
they're only
Francisco.
$30.
Not in San Francisco, it was $160.
For a Motel 6?
Yes.
Did you get picked up by a prostitute?
No. I
thought you did.
I wish.
You told me you did.
I did not say that.
What did you say? You said there was a lady and you got scared and you ran to your hotel room.
Oh yeah, there was a lady who offered her services.
Yes,
and
that's a prostitute.
Yeah, and I did get uncomfortable, and I rode my bike as fast as I could.
I have to
back.
tell you, when you kept saying I did get, I'm like, please don't tell me you did get anything.
No, of course.
Okay.
Not. No, of course. Not.
Frightening.
No, I'm not an idiot.
Well, I mean, I did raise you somewhat right, thank God. Jeez.
But yeah, so that's the story. I could go more in depth in it, but
I think it's a great. You could write a small story about that.
I could.
think, for sure.
I could, and
Yeah.
I might do that.
You should
one
do
day.
it. I think it's a good idea.
might.
It's something that not everyone does. I mean, that's a really cool journey.
Yeah, everyone says that, but it's not a big deal.
Well,
anyone can do it.
Okay, well, let me just add my participation in your story. You also were riding home from San Francisco. You didn't just ride there, you were riding back.
That's right.
And in Vallejo, you wiped out.
Yeah.
And you were
Let's not bring that up.
dehydrated, you were exhausted. I came and got you, and what sucked was there was a fire on the side, not where you were. It took me almost 3 hours to get to you, which normally should have taken me 70 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was terrified because I'm like, my son, he's somewhere and I don't even know where he is. He's dead. And
No, it wasn't that bad.
it wasn't, but you were so tired. In fact, when you got in the car, you fell asleep immediately.
It was one of my more
crashed.
shameful moments.
I know. And you're like, I want to keep going. I'm like, well, do you want to go? I mean, you can, but you were so you were so tired.
It was one of my more shameful moments in life. But anyways,
Aw, well-
enough about me. Let's continue on with the show.
Fine. Well, see, people are getting to know you. You have a lot of tenacity. You're smart. You really love your podcast. So there we go. All right. We do a segment, Paula and I do a segment where it's called Ugly and Awkward Moments of the Week. So we're going to do some Ugly and Awkward Moments of the Week,
Oh, okay.
movie theater edition. stories today, but I thought you would probably appreciate them and maybe you could understand or share your own awkward moments in movie theaters.
Okay.
I went to see Hellraiser Bloodline in the movie theater. The movie begins, and it's very bright and full of sunshine. I thought to myself that they're really setting up for some great on-the-full sunshine kills in South Miami before they go to space. It dawns on me that maybe I'm in the wrong movie theater, and I ended up realizing I was watching Robin Williams' movie, The Birdcage. So he went to the wrong movie.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
Who was that? Who did that?
I don't know. They're anonymous. The next one, which I picked this one because I took you to see Batman, the original. You were a baby, though, so you probably don't remember very much.
It doesn't matter. It was imprinted on me.
Yes. My mom tends to fall asleep in movie theaters. She's also a very loud snorer. She took us to see Dark Knight, and I'll never forget the scene when they're deciding on whether or not they should blow up the ship of prisoners. The tension in that scene and the score is really intense, and the score starts to go quiet. The music and stuff starts to go quiet.
Yeah.
And when it starts to get really quiet, my mom bellows out a huge, cutting through the entire scene, the entire theater.
No.
I woke her up mortified and required her to stay awake till the end of the movie.
That's the climax of the movie.
I know. In fact, when I was reading it, some of the comments were like, "Oh my God, that scene's so intense. I can't even imagine someone snoring through that." I haven't seen The Dark Knight in a really long time, but I do remember that scene very well.
Oh, okay, so I don't even know what to say about the Hellraiser one.
Who goes to see Hellraiser Bloodline in the theater?
Did that even come out in theater? I want to question the legitimacy of that one.
It did. And the thing is to end up watching The Birdcage, which is a movie that's almost 20 years older than Bloodline. So what were you doing? Where was this at? Was it an old-timey theater?
He was probably in his cups, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you know, he was in his cups, he got off of work, and he was like, oh, Hellraiser Bloodline, that came out recently, right? And then he just goes and I don't know what he was thinking. He's like, give me a ticket to Hellraiser. And then the poor movie ticket guy, he was like, well, this is just as good. And you know, he's out of it. He doesn't know what's going on. He took a cab to the theater.
Exactly.
The Hellraiser Bloodline one, it perplexes me because it's like here's a story that I have. On our show, Middle Class Film Class, we occasionally do field trips to movies, and one time Pete drove me to a movie with me and Joseph, and I was out of it. Maybe I had too much to drink.
Maybe.
And probably, knowing me. And we went to see The Hunt, which is like
that political movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I get into my seat, and my seat is comfortable as my bed. And I fall asleep, and I wake up at the end, and I'm hearing all of these conservatives screaming out, and like I start yelling at the screen, and Peter's like, "Shut the fuck up, Tyler! What are you doing?"
What were you doing?
And I kind of woke up like after he told me that, because you know, like I was anxious about, you know, like not being like an asshole, and I was like, what am I doing? I don't even know. So I can imagine that this guy, he's in his cups, and he goes and sees something that he thinks is Hellraiser, and I don't even know what to say. But the Dark Knight one, that's offensive to me. Like,
Did that hurt your feelings?
how can you fall asleep during that movie? That's in one of our episodes, we review Christopher Nolan's best movies, and The Dark Knight was number one.
It is a good movie. Well, from a mother's perspective, I will tell you that I have had to sit through my share of terrible films with small children.
Like what? I want to hear these.
All right. Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Oh, I didn't
Pokemon-
take you that one.
No, but I had to take you to see Pokemon Mewtwo.
Well, that's Pokemon 1, and that wasn't that... Well, I can see from an adult perspective.
And
I guess that
although
could be bad.
I will get a lot of shit for this, I saw a Harry Potter movie in theater and hated it.
Which one?
The one where Dumbledore dies.
Oh, Dumbledore.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah, Dumbledore.
And what made it worse was the people behind me were weeping. And I'm like, what is going on? Did you not read the book? You know he dies.
That was Deathly Hallows Part 1.
All right.
And
I was bored.
Well, I agree with you, though, is that the Harry Potter movies, the first one, classic.
Spy Kids. I had to see Spy Kids in 3D.
Yeah, well,
You went to that?
Yeah, well, I used to watch Spy Kids on the VHS every day.
I've seen all the Rugrats movies in theaters. I've seen, there was a Wild Thornberrys film that we attended.
We saw the Wild Thornberrys film in theaters.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I took you to everything. And so when I say that she probably, this poor mother, was desensitized to what a good film or a bad film is because her children were like, we have to see it. She'd gotten used to napping because you know what? That's where mothers sleep. Mothers rest when their children are being entertained. That's the only way.
That's where they can find their peace.
Yes, they're like, all right.
When they're taking their children to films they don't
That's right. They're like,
see.
they're quiet. They're eating their crappy food, and I'm going to rest quietly. What gave her away is she's a snorer, which is unfortunate.
And what better way to have a good rest in a dark, air-conditioned room
With quiet, safe children.
Yeah, with quiet, because the children are enamored with what's going on in the screen.
That's correct.
But I have to say, The Dark Knight, objectively.
Well, she didn't know.
That doesn't matter. I don't give a good goddamn what she thinks. The Dark Knight, whatever age you are, is the most entertaining Batman film ever released. That's my hot take.
All right. I find it hilarious that you are cool with going to theaters because when you were little, I practically had to buy you headphones because the noise bothered you so much.
No.
When I took you to see Batman, actual Batman, the OG. Wait. Well, it was the one with Nicole Kidman.
Oh, I think that was
Val Kilmer?
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns. Okay, yeah, I was
with
gonna say
Catwoman or with the Penguin. I can't.
Penguin. It was Penguin
with Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
So we went to see that. You were just an inch. You were a nugget of a child.
I was a bean.
Barely a bean. And so the whole time you were like this. And you had your blanket with you. You had your woottie. And you had it around your shoulders and up smushed into your ears because you couldn't take the noise. It was too loud for you.
Well, I
got in trouble because Grandma's like, he is a sensitive boy. He can't handle the loud noises. You're being cruel.
Well, I'm glad that you made me persevere because eventually I became a huge film fan and
you did.
I became a huge movie goer.
I will say, I didn't realize that I introduced you to Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's true. You did. But, you didn't show me the film.
I feel like a bad parent for doing that.
No. You didn't show me.
God, it's so good.
You didn't show me the film. You just mentioned it offhand.
Oh, okay.
And then,
all right.
and then I found my way to the movie, and that was the start.
I opened up that box. Now you're all about, according to your girlfriend, you want a bat motif in your dungeon, in your new home that you're moving into.
My lair.
Your lair. Yeah, that'll be exciting. All right, well. Officially, although you've mentioned it no less than 10 times, the name of your podcast is Middle Class Film Class. You can find it on Apple. And can you find it on Stitcher and iHeart?
You can find it anywhere where you stream podcasts. I don't give a damn.
Do you have social media?
Yes. So we actually have a Twitter.
You do?
Yes. I podcast Middle Class Film Class.
All right.
We have an Instagram called Middle Class Film Class and our Facebook page, Middle Class Film Class, if you will.
What's the latest episode coming at? What film are you reviewing?
So we're reviewing American Psycho, which this is a gold standard episode.
Okay.
There's a lot of surprises in this episode that are previously have been unheard of. I demand the Ugly Truth listeners to check us out.
I do enjoy your show. I love the dry humor. I love how they're constantly trying to tell you to, behave or whatever. But they love you're the adorable. You're like the you're the emotion of the podcast.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. No, I am the Glenn Danzig of our show.
There you go.
And I've said that a few times. But yeah.
I look forward to the Tyler's Rage merch.
What?
Can't wait.
And for a sneak preview, though, there is a new. So last episode we didn't have a Tyler's Rage segment, but this episode we do.
Oh.
And it's great.
And it's good. Well, Tyler, thank you so much for sitting in. I hope people got to kind of get an idea of who you are and what I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis for the last 40 years of my life. But not that long, actually. 20. Something. I don't know math. Although I love all of my children the same, you are my most favorite son. And I'm so glad you sat in.
That's not true. I am the favorite.
Well, we'll take that survey on Thanksgiving and we'll see what the results say. And we will go from there.
I really hope.
You hope you can retain the
I don't give a good goddamn about my position. All I care about is we spin on our Thanksgiving dinner. It's gonna be great.
Yes, it will be great. So thank you, Tyler, for sitting in.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.